They said this boy should never have been born. In a clan where power decides everything, he was the only one with none. And for that, they wanted him dead. This world is ruled by ninja clans. Strength defines status, bloodline defines worth. From the moment a child is born, their future is already decided. And this clan, it was legendary, feared by enemies, respected by rulers. But inside the clan, mercy didn't exist. Weakness was a disease, and they were experts at cutting it out. Every child was pushed to their absolute limit. They were forged in fire, disciplined by pain, and taught that failure was not an option. For generations, this brutal system produced the most elite warriors the world had ever seen. Their name was a whisper of fear on the battlefield, a symbol of absolute power. But this system, this perfect machine for creating monsters, was about to face a problem it had never encountered before. A single, solitary glitch in an otherwise flawless bloodline. A child who defied all expectations, not through greatness, but through its complete and utter absence. And for a clan built on strength, there is nothing more terrifying than a void where power should be. The boy was born into greatness, but he showed no talent. No chakra control, no combat instinct, no potential, nothing. He was an empty vessel in a family of overflowing power. While other children his age trained with sharp steel and explosive jutsu, he trained with humiliation. Every failure earned him a chorus of laughter. Every mistake earned him another scar, another reminder of what he wasn't. The instructors, men and women who had molded legends, saw him as a living mistake. They wouldn't even waste their breath correcting his form. Instead, they'd just point, their expressions a mix of pity and disgust, and say, "Look, that is what happens when a bloodline thins." His own family treated him like a ghost, a shadow they had to step around in the hallways. Meals were eaten in silence, his presence a heavy blanket smothering any conversation. He was the clan's secret shame, a walking, breathing symbol of imperfection. Every day was a trial. He'd watch other kids his age summon fire with a single breath or move faster than the eye could see. He, on the other hand, could barely hold a kunai correctly. It was more than just being a late bloomer. It was a fundamental flaw, a deep-seated emptiness where a warrior's spirit should have been. And in a place like this, a flaw wasn't just a weakness, it was a death sentence. The final straw came during the annual clan evaluations. This was the day a child proved their worth. One by one, children his age stepped into the arena, displaying incredible techniques. Raging torrents of fire, blinding bursts of speed, a precision with their weapons that defied their young age. The elders nodded in approval, their faces stern but satisfied. The clan's future was secure. Then, it was his turn. He stepped forward, the weight of 1,000 judging eyes pressing down on him. He took a stance, just as he'd been shown 1,000 times. He tried to mold his chakra, to summon even the smallest spark. Nothing happened. He tried again. Still nothing. A complete, humiliating failure. A chilling silence filled the massive arena. It was worse than the usual laughter. It was the sound of final judgment. An elder, a man whose face was a roadmap of countless battles, finally spoke, his voice booming across the stone amphitheater. Why is he still here? The question hung in the air, sharp and lethal. It wasn't a question of his performance, it was a question of his very existence. And that single question changed everything. That night, the whisper started. They slithered through the paper walls of the clan compound, more venomous than any poison. He's a stain on our sacred bloodline. Keeping him alive brings misfortune to us all. The elders are right. He has to go. And then, a different kind of whisper, one spoken in hushed, fearful tones. The prophecy warned us of this, a prophecy, one no one was supposed to mention. A fragment of ancient text sealed deep within the clan's forbidden library. It spoke of a child born without light, a shadow that would either consume the clan from within or be the key to its ultimate rebirth. For generations, it was dismissed as a myth, a scary story to tell young trainees. But now, seeing the boy's utter lack of power, the old fears began to resurface. The whispers weren't just about his weakness anymore. They were about destiny, about a dark omen that had finally come to pass. The boy was no longer just a failure. He was a potential catastrophe, a ticking bomb at the heart of the clan. The elders convened in secret, their faces grim. The time for pity was over. A decision had to be made. The boy overheard everything. Hiding in the shadows of the garden, he listened to the words that sealed his fate. He didn't feel rage. He didn't feel sadness. He just felt a profound, empty silence. The world had been telling him for so long that he didn't belong, that he was worthless, that he shouldn't exist. And after a while, you just stop fighting it. You start to believe it. He accepted it. He was a mistake. A flaw in the grand design. He wasn't a warrior. He wasn't even a member of the clan. Not really. He was just a ghost, waiting to finally fade away. He felt a strange sense of calm wash over him. The struggle was over. He no longer had to wake up every morning and try to be something he wasn't. He no longer had to endure the sneers, the pity, the pain. He could just stop. He looked up at the moon, a perfect white disk in the ink-black sky. It looked so peaceful, so distant. He felt no connection to this place, to these people. His home had never been a home. It was just a cage, and the door was finally about to open. But something inside him refused to simply vanish. A flicker of defiance, maybe just simple curiosity, guided his feet. Late that night, as the clan slept, the boy wandered away from the polished wooden floors and manicured gardens. He crept down into the foundations of the compound, to a place no child should ever go. He found a sealed chamber, hidden behind a forgotten storage room. The air was thick with dust and the smell of ancient stone. The door was heavy, barred by rusted iron and covered in ancient markings, swirling symbols he'd never seen before. A presence emanated from behind the door, a feeling so old it felt less like an energy and more like the weight of time itself. It felt alive, a cold dread mixed with an irresistible pull. This was forbiddance. He knew it. Every instinct screamed at him to turn back, to run, and never look back. But where would he run to? He had nowhere else to go. With a resolve he never knew he possessed, he reached out and placed his small hand on the cold, cracked stone of the door. The moment he made contact, the air in the narrow tunnel shifted. Deep beneath the floor of the chamber, buried under tons of earth and rock, something reacted. A seal, a complex matrix of ancient power that hadn't moved in 1,000 years, began to pulse with a soft, ethereal light. It wasn't loud. It wasn't violent. It was a slow, steady beat, like a heart starting up after a long slumber. It was a pulse of recognition. The energy didn't lash out at him. It didn't try to repel him. Instead, it felt like it was reaching for him, drawn to the very emptiness inside him that the rest of the world despised. The ancient markings on the door began to glow faintly, their light reflecting in the boy's wide, astonished eyes. The dust in the air swirled, dancing in the dim light. The very foundations of the legendary clan began to hum, a deep, resonant frequency that only he could hear. The boy, the failure, the stain on the bloodline, had stumbled upon a power far older and greater than the clan itself. He had no idea what he was about to unleash. He was the weakest child, a zero in a world of heroes. He stood before the clan's greatest and most terrifying secret. And for the first time in his lonely, silent life, it answered, "Thanks for watching." If you want to see what happens next, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss episode 2.